of any of our community groups who missed the meeting. We have 10 confirmed groups, and it looks like we only have representation from 2 here. So hopefully we'll get some more as we move through the process. To begin, my name is Nicole Hatfield. I am one of the UVI librarians. I'm the library manager. And I've been with UVI for a couple of years now. I love it. Let's see, I work almost completely virtual. My husband is active duty Coast Guard, so that's how I became a librarian at the university. We moved to St. Thomas for his job, and I got my dream job as a librarian at the university. Of course, as an active duty military spouse, one of the things that we deal with is that we move often, every 2 to 3 years. And so currently I am in West Virginia, working virtually, although I come back to the islands, mostly St. Thomas, although I try to get to St. Croix once a trip now, every other month or so for 2 weeks. So it's kind of a great experience for me. I love it. I love the islands. We're hoping to get back within about 1.5 years, if all works out correctly. If anyone here is affiliated with the military, you know that that's often a pipe dream, everything working out exactly how you would like it. But it's been a great life. I've got to meet so many really wonderful people and do so many really interesting things. So we're here today to talk about the USVI library and community collaborations, focusing on technology and training. We have 2 of our librarians with us, Miss Janice Simon and Miss Marilyn Brissett, whose computer died just as we started. So she's gonna log back on in a second. And then we have Kajid, who is our technician on the grant as well. So I'll let Miss Simon introduce herself really quickly. And then when Miss Brissett pops back on, we'll have her introduce herself. Oh, you're muted. That always happens.
Yes, sorry. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Janice Simon. I'm part-time librarian. I've been with UVI since 1999. At the library, I started out as a student worker, and at the same year, they offered me a position full-time. I was going into the school, and I chose the school because I have a wider range of students to be impact on. And being able to be at UVI still at this time of my life and career is such a blessing. It's such a pleasure. It is such a pleasure to meet with you guys this morning, and we want to thank you for partnering with us as we really truly strive to improve technology skills for telehealth and information seeking purpose. We're going to be here. We are going to be available to support you throughout the whole process, and we're going to have fun as we proceed along this journey. And thank you for joining us at this time.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Simon. And so if you wouldn't mind, either unmute yourself or in the chat, just introduce yourselves and tell us which group you represent. And then I'll get into explaining the grant and sort of what we're hoping to do in the community. Do we have anyone who'd like to go first?
Good morning. My name is Jay Woods, and I'm representing Frederick Center Healthcare.
Perfect. Good morning and welcome. Anyone else?
Good morning, Michelle A. Rogers Bully, representing the Julia C. Sprouse School on the beautiful island of St. John.
Do miss the beautiful island of St. John.
Sorry?
And I said I do miss the beautiful island of St. John. I agree completely.
Come over someday. And stop at the school.
I'd love to. That would be fun. And then Miss Davis, I can always introduce you as well. So Miss Davis was also a librarian with UVI before the pandemic. And oh, she put it in the chat. Wonderful. And she is representing the Wellness Garden on St. John as well. We have a number of other community groups, and I don't know, hopefully the Zoom they were able to get in. I haven't gotten any emails saying that they weren't able to, but we do have a number of community groups, some churches on St. Croix, some churches on St. Thomas. I'm looking at our partner list right now. Both Legal Services of the Virgin Islands, the Family Resource Center on St. Thomas, Edify Beta Sorority on St. Thomas. So it's really a number of, you know, a diverse list of groups. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the grant and then about each community members or community groups responsibilities. And then we will get into some questions and answers, and you know, let us know what we didn't clarify. So again, the grant is called the USVI Community Collaboration Training and Technology Innovation. It's a grant from IMLS. It's a national leadership grant. And basically what it is to focus on building effective technology skills for telehealth and information access within our community. So that's the big thing, building the technology skills. And what we're doing is partnering with, we have 10 community partners now using a train the trainer approach, whereas the UVI librarians would develop training materials and then train each community group, a trainer within that group, to go out and train their own members, if that makes sense. So we can focus the training on a number of different platforms, whether it's Zoom, Teams, FaceTime, whatever platforms your groups are using. And then also we'll focus on helping those members access telehealth services, but we can also focus on using devices. Sometimes that's an issue. You know, how do I use my phone to connect to telehealth services? We can also focus on different services that any of our members might want to use virtually: education services, financial services, social services. So we will really focus where our community members seem to have the greatest need. We ask that each community group nominate or give us one member to our advisory panel. This group that we have here and that we'll send the videos out to will serve as our advisory group. And we will ask that group to lead us in developing whatever instructional materials that we need and helping to focus our instruction. We'll also develop a pretest. So that will sort of be the first thing that we'll do, is develop a pretest to gauge where the community member skills are and where we need to move forward and focus. We hope to do that at the beginning of next year and get that out to our community groups to give to their community members. Once we've gotten the pretest, the librarians, Mrs. Brissett, Ms. Simon, and myself will develop training materials that we will create for our community groups. And then again, like I said, we'll use that train the trainer approach. So we will ask each of our community groups to also nominate a trainer for their membership. And the UVI librarians will hold at least 5 virtual sessions on different digital literacy, information literacy skills. We'll train each group's trainer and offer any support that you may need to go back and train your own membership. We will also offer virtual help for the trainers and for the community members for whatever they need. So just take, for example, if we're teaching us a specific skill, how to access social services online, and we've gone through the training and some members still need help as they're doing that, we'll also offer that virtual help to any of the members through our virtual help desk at UVI. So all of our technicians will know that they may be offering some support to our community as well, which is why we have Kajit on the call. He's sort of our technical representative for the grant, but you may get help from any technician at UVI. That's one of the sort of perks of being part of the grant, is that we offer this free technical help. And I'll show you a little bit later on how to access that technical help should you need it, right away. So we have a few dates. We are looking at administering the pre-test sometime in January. And then we will convene our next advisory panel meeting at the beginning of February. We're hoping that our advisory panels will meet every other month. So we're meeting today in December, and then we'll meet again in February and again in April. So every other month we'll hold those advisory panel meetings and just ask the panel to help lead us where we should go, focused on those technical and digital literacy skills. The grant lasts for a period of 2 years. We have about a year and a half, a little bit more than a year and a half left. We spent the first 3-4 months getting everything set up and getting confirmations from our community partners. Each group who participates gets a $1,000 stipend yearly. So it comes out to $2,000. You'll get the first stipend in August 2022, and the second stipend after we've completed everything in August 2023. I think that's the basics of the grant. And that's perfect timing for Ms. Brissette to join us again, because she's going to go over specific responsibilities, for the community groups. But just based on that quick sort of description of what we're hoping to do, does anyone have any questions before Ms. Brissette goes over each group's specific contributions or commitment? Okay, well, Ms. Brissette, we'll let you introduce yourself. I sort of said who you were and that you'd be coming back, and then sort of go over the commitment that we're looking for each community group.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. Can everyone hear me okay?
Definitely.
Okay, that's great. I'm on a laptop in our conference room right now. I had a technical glitch. My name is Marilyn Brissette. I am one of the academic librarians here. I've been here, this will be my 3rd year full-time. I've been at UVI for about 20 years part-time. So it's been a long time, and this is a wonderful opportunity, and I'm looking forward to working with each of the groups over the course of the next year and a half. So I'm going to talk, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here. I'm going to talk about each group's commitment. So the first thing that you need to know is you're going to receive a formal agreement from us by email before December 15th. And among other things, it'll include the items that I've been tasked with describing today. So first thing is, if you have not nominated a member of your group to the advisory panel, please do that as soon as possible. The advisory panel, which we're considering this our first advisory meeting, the advisory panel will meet 10 times over the course of 2 years. So since this is our first meeting, we have 9 more meetings to go. So our next meeting will be held in February. We've decided to do them bi-monthly. So the next meeting will be the first Monday in February, same time, 11 a.m. So each group should identify a trainer. Now, the trainer does not have to be the same person as the person you have placed on the advisory panel. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. The trainer, this is the person who will receive the training from the librarians. And I'm going to shift now, sort of halfway between this when my computer went out. So the trainer that will attend the meetings that'll be held by the librarians, and again, that's 5 virtual sessions with us. They in turn will hold a minimum of 5 training sessions with their community members, the group that your group has decided that they're going to train. And those can be virtual or in person and should be held in the spring of 2022. So this trainer will also be responsible for our assessments. They'll be responsible for making sure that our pre-test and our post-test assessments that will be done to determine how successful we've been in improving the digital literacy skills of the participants have been. They will communicate with us. They'll communicate with the librarians and also the advisory panel members. And I want to emphasize again that this person can, but does not have to be, the same person that your group chooses to be on the advisory panel. So the trainer, the one that the librarians will train, is going to be responsible to train a minimum of 20 community members. And we will provide you with virtual and also print sign-up sheets because we will need that to be documented. Do you have any questions about this that you'd like to ask now? Okay, no questions. So we're going to move right along to Janice, Ms. Simon, who will take over from me.
Yes, hi. Another thing that we will need to know is a little bit more about your community, because this will help us with the pre-assessment that we are creating. And we could do a couple of things. You have an option in either type in your responses in the box, and even after this meeting is over, if you think of anything else in terms of your community need, we're asking that you please send an email out to Nicole. We need to know things like, do you have community members whose first language is other than English? That is so important in providing the material that is that we'll be able to understand in their language. What is the preference of preferred platform, as Nicole mentioned earlier? For example, Teams, conference call, Zoom, whatever platform that is most beneficial or useful, or your platform is used to, we would like to know of that. What skills to focus on? And we want to, when we talk about the skills to focus on, we got to keep our goal in mind, which is improving technology skills for telehealth and information seeking. Anything that concerns you in regards to your community that we may not mention here in this first meeting, we would like you to let us know, because this will really help us to make sure that the assessment we are creating is meeting your community need. And again, if you're not able to tell us all right now at this platform, it's okay. We just somebody asking that you send an email out to Nicole, and it would really help us a lot in making sure the assessment that we create is really benefiting for your community as we move forward with this project. Nicole, any questions or concerns? Awesome, awesome. Nicole, I'll turn it back over to you.
Sure, that's wonderful. So yeah, you can put that in the chat right now. Actually, if you have community members who whose first language is not English and you're going to need materials in another language, that would be good to know as soon as possible, so we can make sure we get that, especially that pretest, which is the first thing that we'll be sending out to everyone. But also feel free to unmute and just, is there anything in particular that your community members might need? I'll just sort of open up the floor for comments or questions for anything that we've gone over so far. Sort of the basic gist of the grant, so what were the commitments that we're asking from our community partners, anything like that. So the floor is yours. I can't believe we did such a fantastic job explaining it that no one has any questions, which is okay. That's fine. So I'm going to put my email in the chat, although everyone has probably received several emails from me up until this point. I will also email out the Zoom recording of this meeting. As I was telling Mr. Woods before we started, long meetings are not my thing. I think we want to talk about what we need to discuss and then move forward. So today's meeting, the goal was to be under 30 minutes. And I think we might hit it if no one has any questions, although I'm willing to stay as long as necessary to answer questions, but I don't want to talk just for the sake of keeping a meeting going. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. And then you can expect an email from me with the recording. But basically, the next steps are to make sure you have a trainer chosen, you have an advisory panel member chosen and identified, and you've figured out where your target community members are going to be. Who are you going to provide this training to in your groups? It might be your entire community group. It might be a specific section. Like we said before, the minimum is 20. We need that to meet the requirements of the grant. Outside of that, we would love to provide the training for as many people as we can. And then our next step is to get that pre-test out to you. And hopefully for completion by community members by February 1st, because we're hoping to have our first advisory panel meeting February 7th, which is a Monday at 11 a.m. When we sent the survey out, everyone seemed to be most available on Monday mornings. This was the most popular time chosen. So we'll keep that unless we hear otherwise from other people. Any questions? So I see a question from Ms. Davis. Can follow-up info be acquired as project is in progress? Definitely. As we get going, we'll use the advisory panel mostly to communicate with the UVI team to make sure that we are going in the right direction and making sure we're focusing on your community group's needs as opposed to just random skills. And then Ms. Davis's other question in the chat is, do you need a schematic of how we will implement? I think we don't have that requirement yet. I think when we get to our first advisory panel meeting, well, I guess this is our first meeting, our meeting in February. Once we've really gotten started, we can discuss that option. We will want to know how you're going to implement, but we will have some sort of forms for everyone to provide reporting, so that way we can again provide that back to IMLS, Institute of Museums and Library Services, and for the grant itself. We will also, and I'm not sure, Ms. Brissett, if we mentioned this, if I missed it, we will also be sending out an email before December 15th, within the next week and a half, outlining each community group's commitment. So that way, we're going to just ask that you sign it saying, yes, we're willing to do this. We want to partner with you on this very important skills for our community. And this is what we need to do in order to earn those $2,000 stipends. So you will get that email from us as well with sort of a basic outline and something to sign. Reporting timelines. So is that Ms. Davis as well? You've got excellent questions. Thank you. We have to provide an interim report to IMLS that's due after about the first year. So somewhere after, I think it's October 2022. So probably 2 months, 1 month before that, we will also send out some reporting materials to each group and ask you to fill it out. We'll give fairly specific guidelines for that so we can get the same information from each group. And then again, in July 2023, we'll also be asking for some reporting. And again, we'll create something for you to fill out, and then we can in turn give that to IMLS. That's a great question. Thank you. Other questions? Okay. We are hitting our 10:30, our half an hour mark. I did mention that I would show you how to access the library website and the technical chat just in case you need it. So I'm probably going to go a few minutes over, even though I just said I really like short meetings. If you need to pop off, that's okay. You'll have this recording, but I do want you to just see how to access the virtual help in case you need it as we begin moving forward. And I'll probably create some sort of a video for community members as well. But let me share my screen really quickly. Okay, so you should all be seeing this Google Pizza thing. Are you seeing the correct screen?
Yes.
I'm notorious for sharing the wrong screen, and then 5 minutes in, people are like, we're not understanding what you're talking about. So I'm gonna make sure I'm sharing the right screen. So you just go to our library homepage, that's library.uvi.edu. If you go to the University of the Virgin Islands webpage, you'll also find it. You click on academics, and there's a nice pink box that says libraries. It'll get you right here to our library homepage. We will house all of the training materials on this website, on this webpage. Once we develop them, they'd be right here in this yellow box. Just a link you'd click and you'd go right there. What's nice is UVI is upgrading their website, which will probably go live before the end of the grant. But right now it would be located here in our yellow box. But if you need virtual help, you can just right here, we have this chat. It says ask a librarian, but both librarians and technicians will monitor this. So you just put your name, that's my name, of course, your contact info. So that would be your email, just in case the chat doesn't work or we get disconnected, we can always email you and give you some extra help there. The affiliation with UVI would be the public. And then you choose a department depending on what kind of help you needed. If you needed librarian help, you would choose Ask a Librarian. If you needed some technical help, you choose IT Help Desk. And then you just click Start Chat right here. And that will connect you directly to a librarian. The chat is monitored the same as our library hours. So these are our normal library hours right here. Because the UVI semester just ended, we are in intersession, so you'll see these hours change for the next few weeks. We're open 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday until December 15th when UVI itself completely closes. But those hours will go up on the website. The webmaster is supposed to put them up today, so hopefully he will. When we come back in January, our hours will be very similar. It's probably not maybe till 4 on Fridays. That might be the only change, but you can get technical help from us at any time. So that's about it. The next steps would be you're going to get an email from us outlining your commitment, and then we'll send out that pre-test. Am I missing anything, Ms. Simon or Ms. Brissett?
Not that I know of. I think you pretty well covered it for the beginning meeting.
Perfect.
No.
Great.
The only thing I want to emphasize is that in terms of preparing our assessment, it's very important that we hear from our community partners in terms of their needs.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So, and I'll send out this recording as well. Hopefully I'll get that out today with anything you may need to know. Okay. So unless there are other questions, we thank you for joining us. We look forward to working with you. We think it's going to be a really valuable, useful project for our community and for our community members. And we're looking forward to that. Okay. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
For you too.
Bye.
Thanks, Mrs. Brissett.
You're welcome, Ms. Rogers. Principal Rogers, how are you? Rogers Bully.
I am blessed and highly favored.
All right. Well, we're really looking forward to working with you. I know Christine is too.
Yes, I know. She just sent me a message, but we spoke already, and so we'll speak again and just fine tune things from our end.
I'm really excited for you. It's going to be a great project.
And as Ms. Simon said, with the different populations, you know, I have ESL. I have both Spanish and French. So I think this will be an awesome opportunity for us. And I'm going to get my librarian and some other persons on board as soon as I voluntold